For many of us, much of our time is spent with friends and family. It should be no surprise that their noises and visuals become some of our worst triggers. Though it can still be baffling to come to terms with the fact that our own mothers, fathers, or friends are causing us distress. Unfortunately, research has yet to identify the exact reason that loved ones trigger us more than others. This doesn't mean that there aren't theories. Dr. Jennifer Broad offers her idea of why this happens. Sensory information is cumulative. Because of this, each time we are triggered, we become more overwhelmed. Then, once overwhelmed, we may react more quickly to a person around us. We're also more likely to trust that a family member or friend will still love us if we overreact. Another reason loved ones may trigger us falls more along the lines of our own brains. Because of memories, the more a person triggers us, the more likely we are to associate them with the sounds that they're making. Unlike someone without misophonia, we do not get used to a sound or experience. Imagine sitting in a car with your sister singing the same song over and over again. A person with misophonia will immediately become annoyed every time it happens. If you're anxious or tense around a person, you may be more likely to store triggers in memory. If a person is a trigger, you should try to handle the situation as calmly as possible. And remember, it's still the noise and not the person. It's very important to keep the sound and the person separate in your minds. It's best to leave explaining your disorder for when you're calm. Escalating the situation is unlikely to repair the damage, and the negativity can just make the disorder worse. While we can't always avoid trigger sounds, it can sometimes be best to leave the situation. When your nervous system becomes aroused, you can sometimes become calm by removing the situation for a brief period of time. When you come back, you can almost reset your system. While this can be hard for many, it is something that can be adjusted to and adapted with coping skills. On some days, triggers may be worse than others. This can be very confusing when you're suffering with the disorder. Some days we can handle some of the triggers surrounding us, and on others, the drop of a pin can bring us to a full panic and fight-flight. Your physiological arousal is actually worse when you're anxious, already in a bad mood, sick, or simply tired. Sensory accumulation also means that new trigger situations are more likely. With this in mind, it's important that we consider our health before going into a situation. While you shouldn't keep yourself away from fun activities, you should not feel guilty about needing more alone time.
There is no formula for when to avoid or approach sounds. There's no right or wrong. And it might be comforting to know that avoidance and escape from aversive stimuli is normal, and in fact, it's a survival mechanism.